Hello,
Hello.
hello everybody. Welcome back to Paws Trails webinars.
It's so happy to be with especially with somebody whom you really look forward for, with the colors, with the people, with the expressions, and now from the place this collection is going to be from such a person and from such a place. Hear me, fill in the
Yeah.
blanks.
So today we are having with us Mr. Subodh Shetty. He's a very good friend and a wonderful photographer, travel photographer. He does aerial photography as well, landscape, and kind of a good mentor as well. Uh, Subodh
A
also
great
does a
mentor.
lot of photography workshops here in Dubai and many other places across the world. He also takes people along with him to for travel photography, culture, and a lot of things. Uh, we have been in touch with uh, for a long time, and a great fan of his pictures. Very a good eye for photography,
Awesome frames.
awesome frames, awesome colors. So yeah, let's welcome Subodh
Subodh.
Shetty here.
Hi, Subodh.
Hey, what's up? How are you guys doing?
Excellent. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I'm surviving. Yeah, we all know. Yeah, you know it
Yeah,
better
it's
than
tough time.
me. We are all freelancers, so it's a very hard time, but that's part of life.
Yeah,
Of
that's
Yeah,
true.
course, yeah. And how was your recent trip to the Himalayas?
it was
Oh my.
fantastic. That was the. I knew that moment there is a chance to travel, I'll be going to Himalayas, and that's exactly
Yeah.
what happened. Yeah, but I never been to Uttarakhand, so it was definitely a important trip because
Okay,
I've
so
heard
it
a
was a
lot
new
about.
location.
Yeah, it was a new location.
Okay.
Because in my chain of Himalayan exploration, Uttarakhand was missing. Everything else in the chain I have done. Yeah,
Okay.
so it's good to have it ticked off. But it's just scratching the surface. Yeah.
Then, how was your photography journey so far? Like, many of the audience knows you. For those who know a little about you, can you please give a small introduction?
About me, I am a travel photographer. The slide I'm going to show you today, fortunately, you have picked the right topic for me because my travel started with Himalayas. You know, the first time I traveled out of this country after about
Yeah.
1 year of practice in photography, I went to Ladakh. That was my first destination. And
Yeah.
yeah, since then, it's been a great journey. I've learned a lot on my trips. When you travel, you're not just even when I do my workshops, I'm not just teaching. At the same time, I'm learning also. There's always something new to learn. There's always a
Yeah.
new way to shoot. There's always, how many times can you repeat the same things? So you always keep
Correct.
pushing yourself and trying to do something fresh, something new, and
Something different.
something different. You guys, as photographers in wildlife, you'll be knowing you can't just shoot the same tiger with the same
Yeah.
angle. At one
Exactly.
point, you will say, I need to do something new. Yeah. So that's how it works. And it's been a great journey. Yeah.
Great. So we'll go through the pictures today.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
My slides are ready, and I'll just
Yeah. Yeah.
switch.
Sure.
Yeah. Um, 1 second. Share screen. Entire screen share. Just let me know when you see it.
Yeah. I can.
You can see it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just give it a second. Okay. So again, thank you so much for inviting me on this live session. It's been a while since I come live on my laptop because I remember in April, May, June, it was all about Zoom talks all the time. So I become so
Yeah.
accustomed to sitting in front of laptop every evening and doing another live. So it's been a break since then. Things have got better, fortunately. But always good to be online and keep sharing whatever little that we know. So thank you so much for having me, and thanks
Thank you
for
for
choosing
coming.
anytime. And thanks for choosing this particular topic because I know you guys are wildlife photographers, and
Yeah.
I'm not even remotely a wildlife photographer. So despite that, you thought, okay, let's have me on the show and talk about mountains and the
Yeah.
people of the mountains. So I'm looking forward to sharing whatever little I know. So today we'll be talking about Himalayas, as we already, as the topic itself says, the title itself says. So as we know, Himalaya stretches from Pakistan, a bit of China, and a lot of India, and there's also Nepal in between. There's also Bhutan in between. So it stretches through a lot of countries, and it ends in Myanmar. It starts from Pakistan and ends in Myanmar. So at least from our side, we are really lucky that we have a good portion of Himalayas in India. As you can see from the map, the top is completely filled with Himalayas. From Jammu till Arunachal, we got Himalayas running all the way. And in between that, there is Nepal, which is kind of an easy country for an Indian to go. We don't need a visa. So it's like India for us. And there is Bhutan. Again, for others, there is a lot of hassles to enter Bhutan. You have to pay a lot of money. But for Indians, fortunately, so far so good. It's been a free entry and no extra charges for us. We are treated like Indians. I mean, when you go to Bhutan, you don't feel like you're in Bhutan. You feel like you're in India. So we are really lucky that we have this whole stretch which is connected throughout. And I wish we could go to Pakistan to see further, but we all know the situations. And so yes, in this chain, I think only part of Himalaya which is really missing for me right now is on the Burma side. So someday I should be making a journey there to complete the Himalayan trail. But today I'll be running through these places, which is Ladakh and Himachal, and we'll be going through Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand is something I recently did. As I told, that was one point which was not done by me. The whole stretch, this was missing part.
Yeah.
So now Uttarakhand is done. Nepal, I have been there, I don't even know how many times. And Sikkim, which I did last year. Bhutan, which I did last year. And Arunachal, I have been exploring the Northeast a lot, because Northeast is like a photographer's heaven and completely unexplored. So Arunachal is proving to be a very important destination for me. And even once the corona goes away a bit, that will be my first photography workshop. I'll be definitely heading to Arunachal because of the potential. So that's a quick idea of what I'm going to talk about. And I have like thousands of pictures, but I didn't want to load this show with a lot of pictures. So I just kind of condensed it into a quick slideshow. So of course, as Nisha was saying, I deal with colors, I deal with people, I deal with culture. So these three are really, really important to me. So you'll be seeing a lot of colors, overflow of colors. So I'll begin with Ladakh, not because it's on top of the map here, but because this is where my travel photography began. In 2013, 2013, I was like 1.5 years old in photography. I had a 3100 with me, Nikon, and I was still learning photography. I didn't know much about photography. And at that time, whatever I shot, it would be a long exposure or a cityscape, because we stay in Dubai. So I really didn't know much about people or culture or what to expect when you go to Ladakh. I just told my friends, couple of my friends, let's go to Ladakh. Why Ladakh? Three Idiots, the movie which was released. So Ladakh was like a big destination, a lot of like snow caps and those lakes, and that's all was in my mind, that you're going to see beautiful landscapes. But I was in for a surprise. I didn't know how my life was going to change from this very first trip of my life. And as I told, I had 3100 at that time, and today, fortunately, I can just call Nikon and I get whatever I want. But at those days, I was no one, so I didn't have any cameras to borrow. So I took my 3100. I put on a Tokina 1224 wide-angle lens, because I loved landscape, and I thought I'm going to shoot a lot of landscape when I head to Ladakh. And I also got a brand new D800 at that time. It was just released, and I paid a lot of money for that camera, and I didn't have any money left to buy a lens at that point. So I put a 50mm on my D800, Tokina with wide angle, and I took off to Ladakh, expecting a lot of landscapes. Of course, when you go to Ladakh, landscapes are part of it. It was no surprise to me, because we have seen this in movies and everywhere, that it has beautiful landscape, it has clear skies, a lot of Milky Way to shoot. So we did all that, and as you can see, these are all some of the pictures I've collected through the years. So landscape is part of Ladakh. You end up shooting them, but it's not my most important priority. I like to see landscapes in Ladakh, but when it comes to shooting, I thoroughly enjoy shooting people more than anything else, because to know a place, you need to know the people. That's what it's all about. And of course, it has a few, flora and fauna. As wildlife photographers, I'm sure you guys know that it also has snow leopards. So someday I need to go and shoot at least one picture of a snow leopard to complete my journey of Himalayas. Himalaya without snow leopard is incomplete. So
Yeah,
someday I'll join you when you go.
sure.
Yeah. So of course, a lot of landscapes. But what really attracted me to Ladakh, the things that I have not seen in any in Three Idiots, for example, is the life of Ladakh. The real sense of a place comes when you start meeting people, shooting them and making their images, giving them images whenever you go back, give them the print. In this case, I'm giving them the book, which is our photo walk book with their pictures in it.
Okay.
So you build a relationship, you become like part of them. And today when I go, they don't see me as a stranger. All these kids know me. Maybe they're not by name, but at least they know me as a photographer who comes every year. So this year has been the first year when I couldn't go to Ladakh because of Corona, but I'm sure they still remember me. So when you have that relationship with them, you can make whatever the pictures that you want. For example, this picture, you can't just walk into a monastery and tell the monks, please hold a candle for me, stand in a dark room. No, they won't do that for you. You need to build a trust, and it has come with a lot of interaction, being friendly and being silly and playing cricket with them, playing football with them, whatever it takes. At the end, after a while, you build a trust, and then anything is possible. Even in this case, this picture was made at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but it looks like a night time because all the windows, they're so bright. Ladakh is very, very sharp in terms of sunlight. So the windows was really, really bright, and I had to somehow cover it up. So I didn't have anything to cover the windows. So because of the relationship, the kids themselves jump on the window and they covered the window with their body so that the room can become dark. So there are like both the windows with Buddhist monks and 3 guys here in front of me with candles. So that's how it works. You need to build a relationship. And whenever I travel, you'll see this coming up again and again. I always carry candles along with my cameras because you never know when you get a picture. So my camera bag has a lot of wax. Yeah, and this is another picture, candle lights. Again, the room is the same room and completely covered up by monks to create a dark corner, and then you make the pictures. These are another few pictures from Ladakh. Beautiful colors, wonderful people. That's one of the common factor throughout the Himalaya, Buddhism and kindness. So here are a few more.
Yeah.
And this is in the monastery during their early morning prayers. So I love to interact with these things. This is when you see the real life of Ladakh. And also when you talk of Ladakh, there are a lot of tribes in Ladakh. And one of the popular ones is Aryans. I've been hearing about them. I've been reading about them. I've seen a lot of their pictures from some very good photographers. But I never shot them. Like I went to Ladakh maybe 6-7 times and I never had a chance to go to this place. It's a place called Dahanu. So at one particular point, I decided, okay, it's time to shoot Aryans. And they look absolutely gorgeous and as expected, very kind, very beautiful. And one of the good things is they're very connected to the culture. There is Netflix there is internet, there is whatever you talk about, the modern amenities, everything is there. But still, when it comes to culture, they're still rooted into their culture, which is really nice. So, and they're very cooperative for photographers. You can go in, talk to them, and you can make them wear their dress and take their pictures. So here are some of the pictures from that valley, Aryan Valley.
So is this the same Aryans that we have learned about, the historical?
Yeah, these are the Aryans. They say invaders at one point who came to India in the Alexander. That's like a myth.
Yeah.
We don't know whether it's true. So they came in, and some of them remained back, and they are the descendants of the Aryan, they say.
Okay.
Yeah. So stunning people. So this is another tribe of Ladakh, and of course, when you're in Ladakh, you need to shoot Ladakhis. And it's not like they walk around with this costume. The Ladakhis are very modern. They have everything that whatever you talk about. Like from Mercedes to whatever, all the modern amenities are there. So you don't see them walking around like this. To make these pictures, again, you have to create a relationship. And when you travel, I'm sure as a photographer who travels, one of the closest people to you when you travel is the driver. and I always keep the same driver every time I go, so that I can build a relationship with them. So at one point I told them I need to shoot Ladakhis in their full costume, and he told, okay, come home. So it was my driver's sister, what you see on the picture here. So absolutely stunning woman and beautiful eyes. And they don't keep all this cost, the expensive jewelries. They're made of silver, turquoise, pearls. They don't keep it at home because of safety. They keep it in the bank. They deposit in the bank. So I had to inform them that I'm coming tomorrow. Please get those things from the bank. So they get it back. They wear it for me, and this is the picture you make. So you need to build relationship. And the last picture in the bottom with 3 people, that's the hotel guy. The hotel I used to stay. That's his family. I told him I want to shoot Ladakhis, and he told, okay, come to my home now. And he got dressed up for us. So you need to really, really build a relationship to make these pictures. And these are all from those outings. The one on the left is my hotel where I was staying, his daughter. One on the right is my driver's mother. Yeah, that's how you make pictures. And you don't really have to work a lot to find good faces in Ladakh. You just have to walk the streets. And both these pictures were done just like that, walking around. And the one on the left with the red color scarf, she's such a beautiful girl. Like, I know her home, and every time I visit Ladakh, the first place I go is always to her home. And I've already given her a print. I've given her the book, and it's really wonderful to be connected for many, many years. So I'm seeing her grow literally in front of my eyes, which is beautiful.
For me, that picture, in fact, looked like Steve McCurry's picture.
Oh
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
yeah.
That
Steve McCurry,
I can get that connection.
right. Steve McCurry influence is always there. I love his work. Half of the books you see behind me are from Steve McCurry. So I'm a huge fan of Steve McCurry, and I watch his pictures all the time. I buy books of Steve McCurry without any words, because I don't want to read what he wants to say. I just want to see his pictures and analyze how he thinks.
Yeah.
So whenever I make a picture, I always think, what would Steve McCurry do? So that's one of the things which goes,
Great.
the influence is definitely there. Yeah. His Afghan girl picture is one of the iconic ones, which is always embedded in my head. So also in Ladakh, you get to see another tribe called Dogra tribe. They are from the Kargil side. When you hear Kargil, Dras, the war zone, so they are the Dogra tribes. And usually it's not in part of my journey. Whenever I do my trips, this place just happens to, we kind of just test the place. We don't really get into their villages. But at one point during my first trip, when I went, I had a puncture in my car, and we stopped in front of this school. And while the puncture was being fixed, I went to explore the school. And since that day, it's become like my go-to destination. Every year when I go, I make sure I don't go on a Sunday on that road, because I want kids to be there. I want it to be a school day, so that my people who come with me, they can also get these pictures. So wonderful kids, and a different tribe altogether. Yeah. And finally, there's also Turtuk, which is another village in Ladakh, quite far away from Leh. And this is the place which is also known as one of the last villages in India before Pakistan begins. It's towards the Baltistan area, so they're the Balti Tribes. And I put this picture as the first picture for Turtuk because he's the actual king of Turtuk. Yeah, at one point there used to be a dynasty, and today, of course, they have lost their power because there is democracy. But he's still the king of the place. Yeah, he still has a palace, and when you go there, he's proudly showing off everything that he's got from his granddads and his granddads. So a lot of history you can find in his home, and he's very happy to open the doors. It's like a museum. Yeah, and he's the king. So I made a portrait of a king. That's nice, right?
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
He's the king of his jungle. And these are all the people who you see in Turtuk. There are mostly a Muslim community, and these are the kind of faces that you experience. And the kids are absolutely stunning.
Beautiful.
So extremely beautiful kids. Yeah, I've all visited them back. I've given their prints to them, most of them, these kids, because I know exactly where they are. Usually we find them near their homes, and I keep it in my mind, okay, this is the home, I need to come back next year. So that's a beautiful thing when you go back and give the print.
Yeah.
And that's Ladakh. I can show Ladakh for another 30 minutes maybe. I have so many pictures, but I kept it limited to this few. And next part of the journey would be Himachal Pradesh, which is right below Ladakh.
Yeah.
And Himachal again, it's like mix of Himalaya peaks and as well as foothills. So you get a lot of rain, a lot of waterfall, a lot of fog, beautiful forests, and all that. This is Manali, what you see on the screen right now. And it's a big state. When you start roaming around, you see that it's really, really diverse in terms of what it has to offer. On one side, you got snow, other side, you got lakes, another side, you got forest. So it's a very, very diverse place with a lot of different cultures as well. And the colors of nature, it's always stunning to see. And this is the time when I already moved on from my landscape wide angle to landscape in zoom. After a couple of years, I gave up the wide angles. I don't enjoy wide angles much anymore, unless I'm shooting a Milky Way. Otherwise, I'm always shooting with a 70-200 and trying to zoom into the frame, create a pattern and colors and all that. So that's the kind of pictures which you see evolution of a photographer. Yeah.
Definitely.
And these are again with 24-70. Mostly I shoot landscapes with 24-70 nowadays whenever I have a chance. And these are all the typical villages of Himachal. Still holding on to their traditions. No real modern buildings in most of the places. They still have those typical Himachali houses, which is extremely beautiful and good to look at in a wider sense. And these are all again just couple of pictures here and there. A lot of mountains and a lot of greens. And also, as you know, Dharamshala, which is the top picture, is the headquarter of Tibet. So they have their parliament in Dharamshala of Tibet. So a lot of free Tibet movements and all that happen in this place. And this is the place where Dalai Lama also stays, in Dharamshala. And Dharamshala has always been in my list because of the Tibetan Buddhism. And I happened to meet them. And as always, candle was with me. And as always, kids were with me. They closed the windows for me and stood against the windows to make it dark. And this is again shot during 3 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe. So again, it takes some time to build. First day I went, they were very repulsive because given it's the situation of Tibet and all that, they don't really like to interact much because it's very politically, always busy with political themes. But after 1 or 2 days, they kind of get used to you, and then finally you get a chance to make pictures. So these are all from Dharamshala, which you see here. And kids being kids, wherever you go, kids are kids. Yeah. And these are all staged portraits. Portraits are mostly staged, unless you're doing some street photography or something. But mostly I talk to them, I put them in the right place, get the light right. I use natural light, so I have to work with the window, with the door. So there's a lot of things which goes behind the scenes.
Beautiful play of light.
Thank you so much. Yeah, these are all in Dharamshala and McLeodganj. And apart from Buddhism, wherever there is Himalaya, as I told, there is Buddhism always following it. And apart from that, there are other communities in Himachal. There is Kinnoris, and there are a lot of other smaller communities. And these are all from Manali and some place around. I love visiting schools. I always, if I see a school, I'm jumping in. I don't even care if they allow me or not. I make sure I go into the school and somehow manage to get some shots because it's beautiful meeting the kids. They are the future. They're pure. They're innocent. So it's really nice to hang around with them. And it's all from another few schools here and there. This is another portrait from one of the villages.
Oh.
And this is the tribe, which is one of the tribes who wear those green caps. It's a very Himachali style. That's known as the Kinnor tribe. So wherever you go in Himachal, you find these caps very commonly. It's not like an occasion. It's always worn by most of the people. And this is just to conclude Himachal. This was just recent. When I went to Uttarakhand, I ended up in Himachal. This is my friend's hometown, and we just decided to fly a drone and get a picture overview of the place. Okay, now moving on to the next state, which is Uttarakhand, which I just explored last month. I've just scratched the surface because Uttarakhand is so huge. When you start traveling deep inside, you find that there's a lot more to cover. So this is Corona time, so you had to keep it a bit safe and try to stay away from people as much as possible so that you don't infect them and you don't get infected either. So when you think of Uttarakhand, Uttarakhand is known as the yoga capital of the world, and it's spiritually very, very strong. A A lot of Hindu pilgrim sites are in Uttarakhand. So people usually come for this. They go to Rishikesh, they go to Haridwar, which is the most popular joints in Uttarakhand. But in my case, yes, this was part of my journey, but I didn't want to spend a lot of time in Rishikesh because of the number of people there. So I wanted to stay away. I wanted to go to the peaceful side of Uttarakhand. And as we drive through, you see that when it evaporates, it becomes less and less and less people. And finally, you end up in these kind of places. This was shot during Karwa Chauth, which is very auspicious day when, it has a lot to do with moon. So
Yeah.
this was taken during that day. And this is a place called Munsiari. And I didn't have any fixed plan for this trip. I just thought, let me and my friend just keep going. And once we find a place which we can connect, we'll just stay back. So we stayed in this place for 4 days because it was such a beautiful place to be. Very, very close to the Himalayas.
What was the settings you used for that picture?
Yeah, on this day, fortunately, I had my 500 mm PF.
Okay.
So I had that lens, and D6 was the camera. I took 2 shots. For the foreground, I took with 7200 to expose the foreground with the moonlight. And for the moon, I used 500 mm and the usual f11 rule for the moon.
Yeah.
So then merge them together.
Okay.
It's the actual size. The size of the moon is not changed. It's just the proximity. Yeah. And during the sunset, every day we are waking up to this light and sleeping to this light. And that's absolutely
Light is
stunning.
like killing it.
Yeah, magic.
I have not even posted all these pictures, this picture especially, because I'm still editing those pictures. There is so much to do with the pictures I got. It was stunning. Day in and day out, I was just out shooting. And especially after all this corona and being locked down, this is a trip which happened after 8 months. So definitely it was a very, very special moment to be out there. And more pictures from Munsiari, stunning landscapes. And we also did a trekking and all that. But again, these are all part of building the scene, but the actual scene is always in the people. So then after a few days, we started exploring the villages and meeting the people. And these are the tribe of this place. It's called Balti Tribes. So once upon a time, there used to be, like traders between Tibet and India. Silk route was running through this village. So they still look like Tibetans because there's been a lot of mixed marriages.
Yeah.
And more pictures from that places. I was just trying to do 2 pictures here, one with the strong portrait, one with the environment of the same person. So I was trying to do that again and again, and as you can see here. And that, as I told, Uttarakhand, a lot of pictures are yet to be edited. I'll be editing them pretty soon. So now we go to Nepal. Nepal, as I told, I don't even know how many times I've been here. It's like my go-to. Whenever I want to escape, I go to Nepal because I really enjoy this place. The mountains are absolutely gorgeous. And as we all know, 8 of the 14 peaks, 8,000 meter peaks are in Nepal. So I love doing trekking here. So I'll begin with trekking itself, which is Everest Base Camp. I went to Everest Base Camp 2 years back, and this was one of the pictures, which is a composite. The picture, the Milky Way was taken on the other day and then put together to make a very beautiful picture. So that's a mountain called Amadablam, which is a very popular mountain which people climb. And this is the route.
And why did you make it a black and white? Just curious to know.
Just it just looked good in black and white. I tried color. Color was feeling a bit too much distraction and all that. But with black and white, I could really communicate the river and the Milky Way, snow peaks. It was looking much, much better.
Yeah,
maybe
and it resembles to the night.
Yeah, it resembles night. Yeah. And this is the trekking route. It takes around 12 days to go from Lukla to the base camp. It's a hard trek, but you can't complain. It's so beautiful. Yeah. So these are all some of the pictures from the base camp.
So who is the model?
Chinyas. He was with me.
Okay.
We always used to keep a good distance between me and him because I know whenever I see a scene, I can ask him to stop far away. And
Okay.
so there is always a good distance between me and him. because without human element you can't connect to the place. So I always
Yeah.
put a human wherever possible. And in
Okay.
the picture on the right, if you see, there are humans at the bottom. They look like
Yeah.
ants.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how huge the place is. It's a lot of them.
Ooh.
Yeah. You saw them now?
Yeah, I saw them
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I saw them now.
So imagine finding a snow leopard in this landscape.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another few pictures in black and white, one more. And there are a lot of memorials. It keeps reminding you where you are. So there are a lot of memorials for a lot of good walk climbers who have died on Everest. And
Oh.
more pictures. And like this, the first trip which I did to Everest Base Camp was more about seeing the place, experiencing the place, and seeing how tough it is and all that. But now that I have already finished the base camp, I want to go back again just to cover these people. Like I really want to do a story about porters, because they
Mm.
work so hard. They
Yeah.
like carry 3 bags of 3 clients at a time. We are carrying a camera and we are already tired, and these guys are working so hard. So definitely, I'll be going back to base camp again just to follow these people and make a story of them. I
Okay.
really want to do that just as a
That's
tribute
great.
to this
Yeah, that
wonderful
would be
people.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another few pictures of base camp on the way to base camp. That's Ahmedablam, which is a beautiful mountain, and you can see Everest here. That is the Everest. That's the tip of Everest. Yeah.
Oh.
So to see Everest, you have to walk a lot, and you only see the tippy tip of Everest. You don't see the whole mountain till you reach the base camp. Even when you reach the base camp, you don't see Everest. That's a very big misconception. Once you
Uh-huh.
reach the base camp, you have to walk another mountain all the way up. It's called Kalapathar. When you climb Kalapathar, you finally see Everest. So until
Okay.
then, you're only seeing the tippy tip because it's covered with so many mountains around it. And this is the actual base camp. You can see the humans there, small
Yeah.
little humans. So this is off season. We went in October, but if you go in April, it will be filled with climbers, and climbers go up this route.
Mm.
So that's the Kumbu Ice Fall, which is one of the most dangerous parts of Everest Base Camp. I mean, when you're climbing Everest, it's one of the places where people really die a lot than any other place in Everest. So they have to walk through this ice, like
Oh.
really hard. Yeah. So our journey as a base camp guys ends where they are standing, where these people are standing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So there are a lot of pictures. As I told, I've been to Nepal so many times. I can make another whole session on this. So I've done Mardi Himal Base Camp. I've done Poon Hill Trek. I've done Annapurna Base Camp, Machapuchre Base Camp. And if not for Corona, there would have been another 2 base camps this year. But unfortunately, it's pushed to next year. But yes, there are a lot of trekkings that I have done. A lot of pictures I have taken and not posted, of course. So all these pictures you see on the screen, I have never shared it anywhere. Today is the first day I'm showing it somewhere. So
Thank
I
you.
think I think I need to start posting these pictures. They're
Yeah,
gorgeous.
Yeah, you
definitely.
should. You should.
Yeah. So also there are tribes. As I told, there are so many pictures from Nepal, but I didn't want to dig all the tribes out. So this is one of the tribes I really enjoyed shooting. It was during my trek to Machapuchure, which is at the bottom. So
Okay.
on that trek, I found these people. I made them wear this costume, and they were more than happy and absolutely beautiful. They're known as Mughal Tribes. They are very native to these mountains, and a lot of Hinduism which happens there. So it's just like Varanasi, they have their own burning ghat where they burn the people, and there are a lot of Babas you can find there in Nepal. So a lot of
Oh.
photos I have which I don't want to include in this particular slides. So moving on from Nepal, we are now going to Sikkim, which is the next part of Himalayas. And Sikkim was done last year during December 2019. I happened to be in Sikkim, and
Okay.
this is Sikkim is the home to the third highest mountain in the world, which is Kanchenjunga, which you see here. Kanchenjunga is between India, Nepal, and China. The 3 countries share the same mountain, and
Mm.
it's not allowed to climb this mountain from Indian side because they believe it's very holy. So whoever climbs from Nepal or even from China side. So this is the third highest mountain. And again, this is a composite. I took the picture and the Milky Way in different times, and then I composed them just to make a creative output because this is how I wanted to see it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was just a vision and execution. And on one side, the right hand side, you see Sikkim is quite progressive when it comes to development. There's a lot of buildings, a lot of army, a lot of things happen there because there is China on the other side. So there's a lot of developments. And on the other side, when you travel quite a bit inside, you don't find anyone. You can see one house in between the forest. So that's how it isolates, like suddenly there's a shift from a busy place to absolute emptiness. So that's what I observed in Sikkim. And there are a lot of monasteries, as always. There are Tibetans who stay here because it's close to China. So they have migrated from China to Sikkim, and a lot of Tibetan monks here. Some pictures of them. Again, it took some time.
Colors.
Yeah. Monks and colors go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And also, we happen to explore this tribe. Wherever I go, I make sure that I get one tribe from that place. So again, it's the contacts. You have to talk to people. You have to make some friendship. And in this case, it was the hotel guy where I was staying. I think he gave us the details of this particular tribe who stay in the mountains. So we happened to meet them. They're known as the Limbu tribes, and they're very specific to this particular place. So as you can see from Ladakh to here, so many tribes and so many colors, but the face is almost the same. So they all look same, but following different cultures. It's beautiful how it transitions from one to other. And these are all, it's almost like Himachal style, the cap and everything, but still it's different. The colors are different.
More colorful.
Yeah, more colorful. Yeah, so another few portraits. And from Sikkim, we now head to Bhutan, which is, as we all know, they don't have GDP. They don't measure money. They talk in terms of GHP, which is gross happiness product. They don't have gross domestic. They have gross happiness. So it's known as the happiest place in the world. And we have heard all these legendary myths and stories about happiness and this and that. But when we went there, we realized it actually is a happy place. This.
Okay.
If I had to retire somewhere, I would rather be going to Bhutan, because they are just so happy, content with whatever they have. I mean, every country has issues. It's not like they don't have issues, but they're so content. It's just amazing. They're as easy living as this kid in this picture. That was the attitude of Bhutan. Like chill, whatever happens, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So really nice people, wonderful colors, beautiful culture, and most importantly, their dress. The most highlight part of the whole trip was what they wear. They're not like us. They didn't jump into jeans and t-shirts and etc. They're still holding on to their values. It is their daily clothes. They walk around with these clothes. And if I can show you this picture, the picture in the center, the guy wearing red, he is my guide. He is the guide of my trip. Yeah. In Bhutan, it's compulsory to have a guide and a driver organized from certain people. So he is our guide. In India, if you hire a guide, we know how they would come. They would be wearing a jeans and a t-shirt, as simple as that. But here, no chance. They will wear their traditional costume day in and day out. Everywhere you go. That's one of the most beautiful things I've seen. The most well-dressed place I've seen. And they're all wonderfully healthy, beautiful mountain air, mountain food. So no wonder.
Oh.
Yeah, this kid was so cute. Yeah.
And look at his eyes.
Yeah. I have a lot of pictures from Bhutan, but again, the problem with Bhutan, not problem, but during my Bhutan trip, I was doing a campaign for Samsung. So I was shooting a lot with my phone than with my camera. So most of the pictures are in my phone, and I didn't transfer them to my laptop still. Yeah. So there are a lot of wonderful pictures which I posted. Yeah. Anyways, now coming to the final part of my journey from Ladakh to Arunachal. Arunachal, as I told, Northeast India, one of the most unexplored places, even for wildlife. You guys, someday you should head here. Yeah, there are so many species which are not even found in Arunachal. They don't have a name. Yeah, so it's wonderful there, and biodiversity is absolutely stunning, and it has a part of Himalayas on the top. And one of the places I visited last year was Tawang. Tawang is in the northern side of Arunachal. It's a very disputed place between India and China. There are a lot of to and fro which happens for this place, and it's completely dominated by Tibetans, because, as we all know, Tibetans take migration in India. Dharamshala and Sikkim and Arunachal being some of the most important places where they have communities, and this place is filled with Tibetans. And beautiful landscape, as always, Himalayan landscape. It just can't go wrong. And beautiful villages. And this is known as the second largest monastery in India. I mean, in Asia, is the second largest Buddhist monastery in Asia. So huge, huge place. Next time I go, I need to fly my drone more to capture the place. It's so huge, it's unbelievable. So yeah, so we did explore this place. We went in absolute winters, which was in January. Cold like you can't even imagine. It's so cold there. And by around 3:30 they start doing this prayers. All the kids come in, all the elders come in, and they start praying from 3:30 in the morning till around 8 o'clock. So that's their prayer and breakfast sitting in one place in extreme cold. Yeah, but we managed to go at least for the first 3 days. We went every morning at 4 o'clock to cover these people and create some pictures, and it's stunning there. And the light which comes in the
Oh,
morning,
Wow.
beautiful.
yeah, it's crazy. And one of the few places where you can shoot the nuns, like usually we shoot male, but in Tawang you can even visit the nuns who are the Buddhist, female Buddhist monks. So again, you can interact with them. This was my first time getting to know the other side of Buddhism. Otherwise, you can't usually interact with them. So very friendly, very beautiful people, and we had a good time shooting all of them. And hopefully in February I'll be going back with my group to do this trip again. Yeah. And there's also a tribe in Tawang, which is called Monpa tribe. And there are a lot of pictures which are not edited. Unfortunately, that's one of my weakness. I keep shooting so much that things don't get edited. So there's a lot of old people I have taken pictures of in their costumes, but I have not still edited them. So these are some of the people whom you find. And finally, to conclude, in Arunachal, in the foothills of Himalaya, there is a tribe called Apatani. So again, it was one of my dreams to visit this place and capture these people. No wonder, I am sure you can see it on the screen, why I wanted to shoot them. They're so unique, and unfortunately, this is the last generation of people with this kind of nose ring and those tattoos on their head. This is the last generation. The new generation is completely modernized. Now it's kind of illegal to do this kind of things on their body. So they have passed a resolution that they can't do all this nose prickings and tattoos. It's over. So whatever we capture maybe for next 30, 40 years, till these people vanish,
Like,
yeah, it's over. Yeah. So what we make is the final set of images. So it's a wonderful place, beautiful people, very humble, very nice, and very different. It's sometimes you keep asking yourself that question, whether you're in India, because you feel like you're somewhere else. You feel like you crossed the border or something. Yeah, it feels so different. Their houses are different, the language is different. Because one common thing in India is wherever you go, north to south, east to west, you always can talk in Hindi, and the other person will understand Hindi. You can talk in English, maybe some people understand English in India, but in this place they don't understand a word of Hindi, they don't understand a word of English. So all you do is body language. So somehow you end up with good pictures, fortunately. So it's nice to see such places exist, but also sad that it's just a matter of another few decades before it's over. Yeah. So these are all some of the pictures from Apatani tribe. As you can see, the kids in the background, they are now completely modern. You can't see a hint of their culture anymore in the younger generation. Yeah. So that's my quick presentation from Ladakh to Arunachal, and I hope it was something out of it. I hope you guys got
it was
something.
fantastic. Yeah.
Definitely, it was
Beautiful
awesome.
pictures.
Thank you so much.
And you see different cultures, different tribes, different colors, different frames. It was awesome.
Yeah.
You literally took us to the place.
Places.
I should
Yeah.
say that.
I made a mistake. Before I started the session, I should have asked you to put your AC in the coldest possible setting. You should be stirring. Yeah. That would be nice. Yeah.
You'll feel that.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. And
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you so much for,
I don't think there can be any question answers because I don't think audience are.
We have some questions.
Okay.
Don't worry. You can't escape so fast.
Right.
Yeah. So we have like, what are the cameras that you carry or gears that you carry while you go for such photography trip?
Without a doubt, every time I travel on these important trips, I always have my D. It used to be a D5, but now it will be a D6. So I have a D5, let's say D5 with the 2470, and on the other side I have a D4S with the 7200. Yeah, these are the two cameras which are always on my body.
Okay.
Yeah, but if I had to choose one set only, then I would choose a D5 with a 2470. That would be my go-to lens.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when will you be restarting your photography trips? Taking groups.
99% next month. January, I'll be making a 7-day trip to Ladakh towards the end of January. And towards the end of February, after exposure, I'll be doing a trip to Tawang, as I showed you. Yeah, Arunachal. So it will be I know you guys also understand this situation, but it will be a smaller group, not like before. So it will be like 5 people at the most, so that we can maintain a closer, watch on each person to make sure no one gets corona and all that.
Yeah, it's very important.
Yeah. Next few months, I think 4 or 5 months will be like that. And then after that, I think we should be getting all the better vaccines and etc. And things should be moving forward.
Come. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, UK have already started, right?
Started, exactly.
With vaccine, yeah.
So as far as the question of when the trip will start, next month, 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And one more question. 1 second. I missed that. Yeah. What are the editing softwares, or what kind of post processing you do in your pictures?
That's a easy and a difficult question, because it depends on what I'm doing. For example, if I talk of my portraits, I do 99% of the times I use Lightroom and a bit of Photoshop and a bit of silver effects, the Nik silver effects. Yeah, that's my portrait journey. That's a whole process how I do it. I had done a live session for Nikon. I showed them how I use these 3 softwares. So that's my portraits. But if I'm talking of landscapes, nowadays I'm learning so many things because of Corona. So I'm digging more and more into Photoshop. I'm digging more into Luminar Skylum. There's a software called Skylum 4. Skylum Luminar 4, sorry. So I'm trying a lot of my hands on Skylum. There's always color effects. So with landscape, I'm all over the place. There's no one software.
Okay.
I do some 10 edits in 10 different software, then I decide which I like the most.
Can you elaborate on the lighting you choose?
Lighting. Right now, I'm in the absolute pathetic situation to talk of lighting, because look at the lighting on my face right now. It's horrible. It doesn't look like a portrait photographer's light. So, because my strength comes from natural light. So that's the whole idea. Right now, I'm not getting a good light on me because there's no natural light outside. If it is a daytime talk, you would see a beautiful window light come and hit my face. So my light is always natural. I always try to utilize a door or a window. Anywhere you go, you'll find a door, you'll find a window. And I make sure that I use those lights to my advantage. How to use it? It's a process which only can be explained in practicals. But as far as the flash or reflector and all those goes, I don't do any of that things. It's good to use flash. I'm nothing against it. But I don't do it. That's all. Because I already have 2 bodies, 2 lenses on my body. I can't carry any more things. That's the point.
Yeah, and hopefully sometime soon we can do a trip to Mara and
take
the pictures of the Maasai tribe over there. We have been discussing this for a long time.
We have been discussing for a long time.
Now so I think, if it is.
Yeah, this time when I go, I will try to plan something and will.
Please. You keep one side of the trip for me, only people. Then you can do your wildlife again. Yes. But maybe, actually speaking, I am very much a fan of wildlife photographers. At least those people who know me, I keep sending them wildlife pictures on Instagram.
Look, I know. Yeah.
Because I really enjoy wildlife, because I know it's not easy at all. Taking a picture of a lion is easy, but taking a picture of lion in the right moment, it's a challenge. And I definitely would love to do wildlife. It's not like I don't want to. So hopefully I'll someday with you guys. Yeah.
Sure. Let's do it.
Yeah, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Anything else?
That's all.
I think that's
it. Thank you so much for joining.
You.
Anytime. And I wish you the very best for your upcoming trips. I know you're going to Mara on New Year.
Yeah.
right? Yeah, and she's
Yeah.
already in Mara. She's already coughing. So
But
she's got
it's
some corona
sometimes
already.
don't curse me. It's just the weather.
Do whatever you want. Don't go near those bats. That's all it is. You'll be fine. So I really wish you the best, and I hope you guys
Thank
have a
you.
great time.
Thank
you.
And I'll see you soon.
See you
See you
soon.
soon.
Thank you again.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
That was an awesome session. You
Yeah.
see places, and for a change, we see a lot of people and we see a lot of culture. Amazing. Something different.
1 second. Let me add Subodh once more. 1 second.
I think you're still live.
Yeah, but we haven't spoke about the exhibition.
Oh yeah.
So we have selected 20 images of Subodh displayed. I will share the link in the comment so people can go and visit.
I already saw it and it looks amazing. I don't know how you guys do it, but it's beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll be sharing it on my Instagram as well. In
yeah.
case
I have
people want to know.
shared this. I've shared this here in the comment so that everyone can watch it. So
Sure.
and one more thank you once more.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right. So
Yeah. So we'll see you
so that
next.
thank you so much, and wish you please be careful. Please be safe. So till next time, which is going to be on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
See you
We'll
all.
see you. Yeah. Bye.
Bye bye.